How are y'all doing? As you can see behind me, fresh snow. It's not even November. So I wanted to give a little bit of an introduction to the Philippines. I talk about the Philippines all the time. Yes, I'm going over there in January. I'm going to be marrying a Filipina. So it's important to learn a little bit about the Philippines. So I wanted to give somewhat of an introduction to the Philippines. A lot of people don't know. They just know it's a bunch of islands in the Pacific. Um, it is what it is. It's an archipelago. It consists of over 7,641 islands. Low tide, high tide, the number may change because some of the islands are only as big as my patio here. Some are huge. It's broken up into three regions: Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. Luzon and Mindanao are the largest islands. Luzon, of course, is the main island where the capital of Manila is. It is what it is. The population has been dated back to over 50,000 years. Since they're centrally located in this area of Southeast Asia, you had travelers coming from all areas of Asia that settled on Luzon. Basically, the Austronesians, you can go and figure out that term there, settled around 2200 BC, and they were the dominant population from that point on until 1521 when Ferdinand Magellan discovered the Philippines. Okay, so he claimed it for Spain. And in 1571, Manila became the capital of what they called Spanish East Indies. And they ruled until approximately 1898 when we had the Spanish American War. And prior to that, there had been a revolution going on trying to rid the Philippines of the Spanish rule. 1797. Anyway, they declared themselves a republic in 1899, but the U.S. didn't recognize their independence. Colonialization, you figure it out. There was a war around that time, around 1899, and it lasted for a couple of years. It was basically the American the Moro Revolution against the Americans. That was put down. They obviously didn't have the technologies and things that the Americans did around the turn of the century. Right, wrong, or otherwise, this began a long history with the Philippines. And in December 8th of 1941, almost simultaneously with our December 7th in Hawaii, um, which when you look at the international dateline, sorry, I've got papers blowing around here. It's really windy here. Okay, so I'm going to try and get that under control. I've got notes. Um, the Japanese invaded the Philippines, and they held that until 1945. If you study World War II, you can see it was a pretty bad time for the Filipinos. But when we liberated the Philippines and Japan surrendered, then we established that as a republic. We helped the Filipinos establish their republic of the Philippines, and that was on July 4th, 1946. But it had been going on trying to get this transition to the independence and things. And so that was on June 12th. That's when the Filipinos recognized their Independence Day, just so it doesn't coincide with July 4th of the United States. So let me tell you about the Democratic Republic of the Philippines. Uh, since I'm going to be firmly involved with the Philippines, I felt that it was important for me to get to know it. So I just thought I'd ramble on a little bit and tell you about it. The Filipinos are very family oriented. They really honor their ancestors, they honor their elders, children are revered. It just really a lot of tight family units there, even though in current economic times, a lot of Filipinos travel and contract out to work abroad. That's the only way economically most of them can survive. They send money back to the Philippines for what they're making abroad. It is what it is, but it's family, and so they make those sacrifices. They're very caring, they're very nurturing, they're very uh, giving. They're very generous people. Not all. Just like anywhere else, you're going to have your good, you're going to have your bad. But for the majority, they were raised to be giving and caring and nurturing. And this was kind of a conflict when I married my late wife. She was a Filipina, as I've mentioned. She always wanted to do things for me. I'm pretty much independent. I've always done things for myself. But these papers are going to keep blowing. Anyway, it was important for her to give to her husband. It was important for her to take care of me. It was uncomfortable for the first few years until I learned more about the Philippine culture, and I let her do more for me. Of course, I did for her too. We worked out a system, and it worked great. And they are, since they're so family oriented, the birthdays, anniversaries, holidays are very important family activities. And there's 18 national holidays, and that's not even including local festivals. Um, there's always a celebration going on in the Philippines. Not really a partying nation, but I mean, very, very close uh, traditional families there. It's a good thing. My fiance's family, very close. They, I'm just so honored to have them accept me as a foreigner into their family. So I felt that it was important for me to learn more about their culture, their history, their society. And I'm constantly studying more things about the Philippines. And it's going to be important because someday I may move there. Give that about an 85% chance. It's economically, it makes more sense as a retired person to live there. However, it's not a paradise. There are a lot of drawbacks, but I'll get into that another day. Some of the drawbacks, there's a lot of bureaucracy there. They have barangay, which is like your local community, um, province, which is like a U.S. county, unless you live in Louisiana, it's a parish, and they have the national government. And getting all three of those to coincide with each other whenever you want to try and do something, that can sometimes be a headache. Just for an example, the marriage license that Christine and I will be applying for. Um, we have to go in. There are documents we have to file. Uh, there's She has to put in a CENIMAR, which is a certificate of no marriage. They love their acronyms. um, and I had to get a letter that certified that I had the legal capacity to marry. And all of these have to be filed, and then it takes, on the average, 10 days. It has to work through the bureaucracy, and there's a lot of red tape. But marriage is very important there because there's no divorce. It's like the last country to not have a divorce. There are annulments, you can do that, but I'm telling you, it takes forever to do it, and a lot of expense. So making sure that the marriage is going to last, that's important to the government. There's in their Senate right now, they've got a bill up right now for divorce. And this has been proposed several times. It's been shot down several times. This time, I think they've got the language right. I think they've got the provisions in the bill closer. So whether it passes or not, who knows? But because of all the bureaucracy and the red tape, it is just what it is. Sorry, I had a bird fly past. I just trying to see what I caught out of the corner of my eye. Since there's all of that, you just don't get in a hurry over there. You just let the system play it out. You wait in line. You have to visit many agencies in a lot of cases to get anything done. If I want to build a house over there, oh geez, I've got to get a lawyer. I've got to get land surveyors. I've got to get all of these other permits and things like that. Of course, I can't own property. Foreigners are not allowed to own property in the Philippines. That would be my wife would own the property. Some say, get a prenup. Why? There's no divorce. And we're solid enough. I don't think that's going to be a problem. But don't get in a hurry. It just takes time to let everything work through the system. That's one of the things that I'm going to have to really learn over there is don't get in a hurry. Even traffic, just don't get in a hurry to go someplace because traffic is just, it's bizarre. It's not organized like the U.S. And I mean, you can say what you want about traffic problems you have in wherever you're at. Trust me, nothing compares to the Philippines. It's one of the worst places to drive. The Filipinos have learned because of the economy. The average Filipino would probably make maybe $500 a month on a decent job. So therefore, the economy is a lot lower. That's why I say it'd make more economic sense for me on my retirement to go there and live. I can live on a lot less. I could probably live on, if I'm renting, I could probably live on way less than $1,500 a month. There's a lot of expats that have videos up and they claim they can live on $600 a month. I don't quite buy that because you got to eat and food still costs. But $1,500 to $2,000 a month, you could probably live relatively comfortable without too much problem. So because of the lower economy, the Filipinos have learned to live on a lot less. And that's one of the things that as an American, I will learn. And, there's times when I think that my life is just too complicated, too cluttered. So I need to learn how to be more of a minimalist. It will take time. And just like don't get in a hurry, learn to live on less. But not abject poverty. I mean, you can live comfortably. By American standards, you can live comfortably. Just don't get extravagant. Don't be flashing money around. Don't try to live large in a province because a lot of provinces are relatively poor. And if you start flashing money around and trying to live extravagantly, you're going to cause some resentment. And you don't want to have resentment. If you can make friends, if you can assimilate into their culture, you'll have some of the greatest friends and caring people that you'll ever know if you play it right. Just don't just don't try to live like a wealthy American because that doesn't play well. Now, if you're in Manila, Makati, or BGC, that's Bonifacio Global City, that's a small part within the Metro Manila area. If you're in those areas, those are quite affluent, and you better have some money to live there. It's quite expensive. But if you live outside of Manila, in any of the provinces, on any of the other islands or whatever, if you're not in the major metropolitan city like Cebu or Davao and Mindanao, you can live pretty comfortably. You don't have to live in a grass hut. You can have a nice home and live comfortably, but you just got to play it right. There's a big wealth gap there. Like I said, Makati, Quezon City, Manila, BGC, those are more affluent, wealthy people. But you get out in the provinces, just 60 kilometers away, and you may find people that are living in grass huts or not much more than that. And it's kind of interesting how the economy can go from super rich to super poor in just a short distance. So depending on the location, there may be a wealth gap, and you just gotta, if you're gonna ever go there, just scout around so you can see for yourself. But anyway, I just wanted to kind of throw that in. I've got more updates coming. We're still trying to pin down a wedding date. And a lot of that comes from this legal capacity to marry that I had to get. We got to find out if the local, the LCR, yeah, anyway, their municipal government. We got to find out if they'll accept that, or do I have to go to the going to Manila to the U.S. Embassy and have them notarize the fact that I'm single, or I'm a widower, but still I'm single. I'm not currently married to anybody. So all of these updates will be coming. I hope I didn't bore you too much. I just wanted to tell you, if you want to know more about the Philippines, Wikipedia is a great source. Love y'all, and take care.